everybody. Welcome to What's the Story? My name is Janice Hermsen, and I am your host.
Woo-hoo.
And here with Noel, Doug Ashby, and we just did a great rehearsal. And so we're ready to give you a great show right now.
You know, if you noticed, she didn't say, welcome back.
Nope, I didn't. So it has been a very busy week for many of us. And we're going to continue to air on 93.7 FM via America Matters Media. But the LeRue Press Network will be our new home for recording and broadcasting our show. So for those podcasters who might have an interest in looking for a new home or a home, we might be your answer. I already did. I was telling these guys earlier, I already had somebody contact me and say they want to do a show. So
this room is awesome. I mean, as I'm sitting here, I was looking for a place to set a twin bed or a cot.
It is a great place to podcast. And the thing is, even if you're from out of the area and you just want to stream in, you maybe don't have the I wouldn't even say the ability, just that you don't want to deal with all the nuts and bolts of doing a stream. We can help you with that. We can get it to happen. We can even get you on 93.7 FM at night between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. So be sure to get in touch with us. You can reach out to me at janicehermsen.com, and that's HERMSEN, not O-N, and just janicehermsen.com. There's a contact us little area there that you can fill in and let me know what you're trying to do, and we can talk about it. I've got 2 shows right now that I'm prepping to start besides this one with other people, and then I've got a couple of others that I'll be.
Did you hear that?
No, they're the hosts.
We're ugly stepchildren.
No. They're the hosts. I'm the engineer. What can I tell you? For a while. I won't be the engineer forever.
That's all right. Doug and I have always had cleanup duty.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm going to teach one of these guys how to be the engineer. That's
yeah.
Thing.
I don't know though. Can you walk, talk, and chew gum at the same time?
No.
I think you can.
I don't know, man. I can rub my fingers. I can't really chew gum and walk.
That's funny. So we are airing on Facebook and then YouTube and Rumble. And if you're on Rumble, you will not be able to chat with us right now because I have not set that up yet, but I am working on it.
Rumble is a rye.
Rumble is a ride.
It is a miss.
Right. Yes. You wanna do the
I was gonna
it was just a rehearsal. What can I tell you? That's what we do, right?
I was gonna
actors do this all the time.
Spontaneously throw something out there, but I couldn't have my list of synonyms, so I couldn't. I don't know what I did with it. Where did it go?
So you need to find the synonym that's in your next story that you want.
That's right. Yes. So I do want to go over the Operation Sunlight issue.
That's a big deal.
It is a big deal. So had a little practice with this already, thankfully, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. And I will show you that you need to stop everything and read this, because this is about GPT. Sorry, I always say that wrong. And Ed and I were discussing ChatGPT, and I was saying I don't really trust it. He doesn't trust it. Did you say if you trusted it? ChatGPT, if you talk
yes,
to
it's what's our position?
So I do have an AI thing that happened this week quickly, and that is so on Facebook, right? Meta.
Right, they have.
It's I've seen it on my phone now. That say you push it and it's Meta AI. It says, "How can I help you?" Mm-hmm. Right. So all you got to do is go Meta AI Siri. How can I solve the world problem?
Well, Siri, I even convinced my daughter, is dumb. So
thank goodness. I've always thought Siri was dense as a brick because Siri never gets me ever. When I say something,
all I wanted to do was get my trip. I was thinking about taking a trip to Florence, Oregon. So I said, Siri, map Reno to Florence, Oregon. I said, Reno, Nevada to Florence, Oregon. I don't know where you are. What? I said, I'm in Reno, Nevada. I don't know where you are. And I do have location services on, so it's not that. Because that was the first thing I thought. Oh, I don't have my location services on, so I need to put that
Sounds
on.
like a scam. They want you to put your coordinates in.
Maybe so.
Very good.
I was like, I'm done. I said, you're dumb, Siri. Oh, I'm only trying to do my job.
So I'll go,
Answer.
Siri, call Janice Hermsen, and Siri will go, calling Dalai Lama.
Yeah.
Right? What?
I've had things like that happen. You're hearing Ed just digging into that chocolate.
So it is really like one of those grocery bags, but it could be like a 55-gallon drum,
sound much
like
better when you're
garbage bag full of chocolate. Compliments of Doug.
Yes,
Yeah.
well, and I was just telling Ed, because, my mics are pretty good, and so he can kick back and do the thing, but, that velvet fog only comes out when you're close.
I know, but when I'm this close, I can't chew chocolate.
It's true. It's true.
So I
We're gonna
fade
have to-
See, now
away.
I've intimidated him to thinking
We're
that he
gonna-
has to sit
We're
forward.
gonna work up to doing a chocolate IV line for Ed.
Yeah, that would be good. All right. So what I'm going to try and summarize this for you for the Operation Sunlight article. He wants it to go viral, and for very good reason. He tested out the Chat GPT with the cast vote records, which shows all the votes that were cast in the 2024 primary election. I believe this is Washoe County in this case. He received it directly from the Washoe County ROV, Register of Voters, and then gave ChatGPT Edward Solomon's paper that explains his findings in election fraud. Then he had it analyze the certified results from June 21st in Washoe County, Nevada, and it came back that it was 99% manipulated. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
Well, seeing how, when they talk about politics, 66% is like 99%. So when you're up there, yeah, boy, that's a lot.
At 99% manipulated.
Yeah.
That's almost incontrovertible.
Yes.
And so he had it check first, just 3 races as well. Beth Smith, who's the school board, Perry Rosenstein, don't know what race that is, and Clara Andriola, which is a commissioner, Washoe County Commissioner, District 4. It confirmed all 3 races were manipulated in favor of the 3 candidates. So what do we surmise from this? We surmise that something needs to be done. Something has to be
I think that we're going
followed
to,
through.
if we could fast forward 10 or 15 years, I think 15 years from now, they'll look back and say, when Biden was elected to president, how manipulated that election was. And somebody will be on the dying declaration, and want to burden
But do you remember
themselves.
when we first started all this and we were in 2020 and you guys were like, oh yeah, that happens all the time. That's not really.
Yeah.
So I think
You've
that
changed.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You've changed.
Yeah.
well,
I'm not bagging on you. I'm not. That's
Oh,
not
no,
what I'm
I
doing.
just, I like to be optimistic,
yeah.
but when it comes to politics now, especially if I had any hatred in this whole process, it wouldn't be for the candidates, it would be to the news media. They are supposed to be the guardian of the Constitution. They are the ones that are supposed to hold each side of the aisle's feet to the fire.
Right.
If they don't, they have aligned themselves with one side. And I don't care what side it is, it's wrong.
Right. Agreed. What were you going to say, Ed? You don't want to say it now?
yeah, no. I believe my whole life that Republicans have worked on the Supreme Court, right? It's been a plan, right? Everyone who's conservative knows, right? It's been talked about, the judge committee, the people that select the judges for presidential, right? They're all conservative. We spend a lot of time, money, 50 years on this. I believe the Democrats have been working on voting stuff that whole time. I think that's been their pet project
Right.
and their pet peeve. And they're in the shell game, and we're not good enough to catch them yet.
Well, and just to kind of summarize this, it's a pretty long article. You can go to operationsunlight.com. It's one of the first ones up there you'll see, unless he posts another one before you get there. But the 3 races that he's talking about, the Franklin Project, which is his PAC, paid for them to be recounted. One is a Democrat, one is a Republican, and one is an independent. And they charged $50,000 plus for each race, even though they were going to count each one at the same time. So they got $150,000, started on Sunday, despite the fact that there was a lawsuit, an injunction, and a restraining order that was placed on them.
They don't bother with the law.
No, they ignored it. So now, all of a sudden, they were starting on Sunday, going to be finished by Monday and certified by Tuesday, and that didn't happen. They've now pushed it off, said, oh, we can't get it done. So his question is, why are they dragging out this recount instead of having it finished on Sunday like they said it would? Are they backfilling ballots, trying to make the machine reports the same as what a hand count would be in case the candidates get a hand count as ordered by the
Janice,
court?
we need to put this in proper perspective. How many voters were there?
20% of the registered voters voted.
Which would be what?
I don't know. I can't do that off the top of my head.
The
I'm
bottom
sorry, it's not
line
very many.
is that we in Washoe, here, Washoe County, it's a very low number.
Right, very low.
You know, you could have somebody in their kitchen sitting on a bar
So
stool.
you got to think it's around 70,000 or something,
so-
right? If we're 3.5 million
Right.
So 150
Yeah, it depends on
grand.
how many registered.
100
registered, so
Yeah.
it's smaller number.
Yeah.
I can see them counting 1Z, 2Z, 3Z. You know,
But they're
I
doing
mean,
it with machines. Machines are supposed to be quicker. So
So they're not. They don't get answers, right? But they go, oh, look, Republican, oh, Democrat,
no.
Independent.
oh, hanging Chad.
Yeah.
Well, none of those people have ever worked, right? Those of us that work and have been self-employed, we have our little couch space with our piles of paper all over the stuff. These people got no piles.
yeah. So
They
he
got
says,
nothing.
he says, let's pretend the county is completely above reproach and they only follow the law and do what's best for us. If after seeing this, they still move forward with the general election without redoing the primary election without machines, you know that every issue in our election is done by or covered up by them.
Yep.
And I think that the logic is pretty logical because seriously, who would not want to at least investigate? There is no harm, and look at the benefit of investigating it, because then you and I deniers, as they call us, or skeptics, or whatever you want to call it, we would be saying, well, good, they're checking, they're looking.
Somebody has standing to challenge them where they have to deal with court, right? Somebody, right? I don't have standing, right? And I know that's a big issue these days. All the candidates should. It would seem like the
candidates did, and what they got was, we're counting this by machine, and you're done.
And it would seem like both parties would have an interest.
The Democrat was only a difference of 15 votes.
Okay.
It's not
Have you
much.
ever been to a union meeting? It's really amazing because, especially ours was local 1014, and you'd get 100 people there or whatever, out of 5,000 or 6,000 employees, 100, at a union meeting, that's pretty good, maybe 150. Well, then somebody would raise their hand. I have a motion here, and they say, okay, all right, let's a hand vote. Okay, pros, raise your hand. Okay, against, raise your hand. Okay, the ayes passed. The pros passed. That's a vote? Oh, wait a minute. It was real close. Let's do that again. All right. Everybody for it, raise their hand. Everybody against it, raise your hand. Oh, I can tell. Okay, it passed.
What they're supposed to do is do a standing vote in that case.
That's exactly what we're doing now.
Yeah, it is. It is. So what they found was that the key issues were identical vote counts across precincts. They found multiple precincts reported identical total ballot counts. So the probability of manipulation was 99.99%. You can look at each one of these issues. They did best miss, said that manipulation was detected, yes. she was the beneficiary, patterns of identical vote counts, vote proportions, election day proportions. There are so many analysts, data analysts that know this. They've been going through this data for 3 years and they know it. They can't get into a court. The courts don't want to see it. They say that there's no evidence that Donald Trump, one way or the other. That isn't even about Donald Trump.
I know.
This is about our votes. This is about ranked choice voting. This is
about school
board. This is about Washoe County commissioners
right.
and probably Clark County commissioners and every other one across the state and your areas, wherever you are.
I mean,
if it's happening in Reno, Nevada, it's undoubtedly happening in many
they got
places.
administrative control of the vote, right? We're a blue state. They own it. Just say it. Right, I've always said we're a blue state, but now they're not in. Well, where's the gov? Where's somebody going, hey?
I don't know. Why don't we call him?
Let's do it. On the air. I'll call him now.
Call him up.
I don't have his number, but let's get his number. I'm serious. Does he not care about his party?
But it isn't even about his party. He should care about his
state. I agree.
He should care that this is not Democrat, Republican, or independent. This is all of the above, because all of us are affected. It doesn't matter. Maybe all the Democrats won.
I was going to say
they cheated, and half the
Republicans right. They're
won,
talking about Trump
right?
taking our rights away. We got people taking our rights away right here, right now.
Right. That's right. Very, very
true. That to me is the Democrats, all of the thinking people that are on, for Biden. They can't vote on his record, so they have to come up with things. And one of the latest things is, we're losing our democracy.
Oh, I love that.
Well, yeah. I mean, where did they get that? I'm sure they had a big room and they tested it. Oh, that's going to work. Let's go with that.
Trump is a threat to our democracy.
Yeah.
Trump is a threat to our democracy.
They are
Trump,
way.
How'd I do? Did I do it right?
Where did they come up with it?
Best I know, Democrats are good authors because they are the biggest story writers I've ever heard, right?
Yes.
They're writing their own.
Yes.
I mean, I think Trump, one of the things that I thought was pretty funny about the debate is Trump looking at Biden and calling him a liar and going through it. And, best I know, they didn't fact check everything. The thing, right? I mean, Biden was just as wrong.
Well, he was talking about I'm trying to remember, where was it? Was it Georgia? Where was it where he said that there were good people and bad people? I don't remember where that was.
And
they already had debunked that. I mean, the left debunked that and said, oh, by the way, that was taken out of context.
Well, he was talking about his, family members raping people, sister. It was bizarro.
I missed that part.
Where he was going off, anybody could rape him, his sister.
Wow.
He was out of it.
Yeah, I would say. All right, just to wrap this part of this, make sure you share the Operation Sunlight article. Tell friends, neighbors, everyone, anyone in Washoe County especially. I don't care if you come from another county.
I think we should
about Nevada.
I think we should start asking the other artificial intelligence like Meta AI the same question.
Let's do it.
We will, yeah.
So
we can go the same questions with multiple AIs and see what the answers
are. Yeah. So Mr. Beatles is asking that you show up on July 9th at 10 a.m. at 1001 East 9th Street. Peacefully demand a new election. Send this to law enforcement, the legislature, everyone. If you don't know where to send it or who to send it to, just go online, ask ChatGPT. It probably will tell you.
I was going to say, best I know, if you post this on Facebook, you'll find some new friends.
Yeah. So you can look at the whole conversation with ChatGPT. You can also see the cast vote record file, which is a CVR file from the county. And I'm presuming it wasn't manipulated, but you can probably ask a data person if it was, and they can probably tell you. So that's my suggestion to you. I hope you'll take a look. I think it's really important, and call your commissioners especially. They should not be certifying this vote. It doesn't matter who they are, what party they are, what party you are. This is about truthful and honest voting records. So there you go. That's my opinion. And I'm stopping that share, and we're going to go back to just us. How about that? Oh,
What?
it's just me.
There
Where'd
you
you
go.
guys
Doug
go?
and I have been ostracized. We've
I
been
think so.
out.
Where'd you go?
Yeah.
You were there?
So so Doug and I have combined our superpowers and we're now invisible.
You are
Yeah.
invisible. That's interesting.
They
Where did
didn't
you
care
guys
if we were
disappear
invisible.
to?
Well, you know what?
They
Oh
wanted us
my
to shut up.
goodness.
You know what? For this, it's kind of happenstance and a learning opportunity for us and Jan. But get this, CBS news shows in the morning without their people, invisible. They might actually have a show without their people on it.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to be invisible for a second. I'm going to see if I can get you guys back. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's maybe we just shrunk and we look smart. Like, honey, I shrunk the kids or something.
No, I know what happened. This is crazy. So, hey, Ed,
Yes.
why don't you do a finance report? That way we're not just like doing nothing here.
Okay.
I'll find you guys.
All right. So,
Ed, you were
Radio
just
so one of the most,
podcast with-
so this is finance, but it's also a bit of a story. And it's one of the most aggravating things. People think, right, you're a conservative. You just follow Trump, whatever he does. And I do, but here's why. He impacted my life. And so, right, let's go back in time. Remember, we're looking at the last like 16 years, right? We had the Biden-Obama administration for 8. We had President Trump for 4. And here we are at the end of 4 for Biden. I've been self-employed as a mortgage banker.
throw in Bill Clinton there.
Since 1996.
Yeah.
And for first 15 years of my career, almost 15, I was never, miracles happen. I guess I was never late on a credit card, self-employed, making money. And the Great Recession hit and certainly hit mortgage hard, and homes lost value. I went belly up. Chapter 11. My wife left me. Heck, I didn't know if I was going to have a home for a couple of days for my son and I. I liquidated everything I owned to try to stay in the home, and but lost everything and had to dig back. President Trump comes in 4 years. I owed the IRS $75,000 from liquidating retirement. That was my penalty.
True conditions.
That President Obama said he was going to eliminate the 401k penalty at the time. He did not. I liquidated everything I owned. Come back. Trump comes in. Mortgage thrives. I pay back $75,000 to the IRS. Buy a house. And have the best lifestyle I've ever had, my son and I. President Biden comes in and mortgage goes lame again. It's gone. It's been a recession in mortgage for 3 years. There's only 10, maybe 15% of mortgage folks still around. They're all hanging art like me. Literally, I'm not good enough. As I talked, I'm like maybe top 15%, not good enough. There's folks all over the place. There's always been mortgage folks spread around, but that was real impact to my life, my son's life. And 4 years out of 12, I thrive.
If I could be so bold, I'll tell you the way this pans out. Number one, what I hear is what you did. You did for yourself. You talk to a liberal, they don't want to know what they can do for themselves. They want to know what you can do for me. And that's the difference. A liberal
Isn't that funny? Because President Kennedy said just the opposite.
Yeah.
He'd
be a conservative.
He'd be an uber conservative.
I know.
Yeah.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
To me, right, it all starts with personal responsibility.
Have you ever looked at everybody on the left, and you really needn't look any any further than what the Democrats are putting forward right now. Everything that comes along, including the Supreme Court decision of yesterday, they weren't wrong. The issue wasn't wrong. Who was wrong? The Supreme Court. And what was their first blush at this? We need to impeach the Supreme Court.
However, that New York court's right.
So,
Right? So they
But if we
selectively.
can just define a little bit more, because that's not every liberal out there. That's specific liberals that have a voice, that have the bully pulpit. So if you talk to, and I'm not going to say all, I just can't go.
I
with
call
that
it,
all thing.
I know, but I call it the Karen group, right?
Yeah,
But here,
okay.
just like yesterday, there's a gal friend of mine. She's left, liberal, right? Older gal. We know where we are, but somebody came in and was asking me a political question in yoga, right? Before yoga.
wait a minute, is yoga a language?
And so he asked me, and I responded, and she said, "Hey, let's not, don't talk politics." And I go, "It's an election year. Right? We're a democracy. We're a republic, and what they're doing is stifling any discussion.
Right.
Oh, there's politics, blah blah blah, and then their way just rolls over. It's a policy.
Right.
You got to just, hey, if you're not
Why do
willing to
they-
talk politics, don't vote. Or here's a
Yes.
good one.
Ed,
Oh, I'll cancel your vote.
why do they do that?
I'll cancel your vote.
They don't have a platform to stand on. So how are they going to discuss anything? Oh, let's discuss. Hey, pick one out of the sky.
I always love folks that believe in a democracy but don't want to take an active part, don't want to vote, don't think it's messy. It's you voting. It's people. It's got to be messy. If you want law and order, go to Russia, right? If you want everything to be dictated to you and no waves.
Well, if you're going
Go
to
to
talk about
go
Russia,
to-
let's
go to
talk
China,
about
yeah.
China. Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
going to say China, I think I think you'd almost go to Russia now, but
Hey.
I mean, if I had my druthers,
I'm
I'd
with you, but
rather
I
go
mean,
to
these
Russia than
folks,
China.
want what they're saying they don't want in Donald Trump. I mean, best I can tell, they have no idea what they want.
well, and then,
Yes, they do. They know exactly what they want. We don't want Biden. That's what they want.
well, and the thing is, I didn't agree with every single thing that Donald Trump did in his administration.
Nobody does.
Yeah, exactly. That was going to be my point. Nobody's going to agree with everything. But for the most part, it appeared to me, just taking it away from my own personal benefit, that I hear that the Black communities benefited, that the Hispanics benefited, that all of them were in better condition. They may not economically, they may not have been rolling in it, but they at least had a better sense of what it's like to have the American dream, right? And so for that, I overlooked some of those tweets. I overlooked some of those things that I didn't appreciate that he did. That, you can't like everything a president does. When Obama was in, if he did something good, I appreciated what he did that was good. Unfortunately, the Affordable Care Act was horrible. It wasn't affordable. And it was another one of those lies that just makes you feel like, why are we putting up with this? Why are we allowing them to lie to us and call things what they aren't? The Inflation Reduction Act. How stupid is that, right?
It's the opposite. I mean,
it is. It always is.
So
But let's take it one
and
step.
when do we start to say that and say we are not that stupid?
So
we'll take it one step further. And who didn't report any of this, what you're talking about?
I agree.
The news
I agree.
media.
Thus, the LeRue Press Network. Let me
Yep,
do my little
here we are.
commercial.
LeRue Press Network.
That's right. And we are going to do some reporting, and I am gathering folks that have things to say, that have, maybe they're small voices in some cases. My voice is a small voice, but you know what? We need to all group together and we'll become one big voice instead. How about that?
Love it.
It can work. It can work.
Well,
The thing is, you have to- if
Let
you
me
hear
let me
something-
let me have a question, because it's all over the internet. You see it all the time. Do you think that Biden is having his limbs pulled, his voice put
Of
out
course.
there
Of course.
by Others.
Anybody, just about anybody could.
So
Right?
if you're a CEO at any
Bid the
company
highest.
or even a thing, you're coached, right? You either have a personal coach, the company provides you a coach plus those folks. Biden probably has 50 people.
You know, one
50.
of the things that I learned from the fire department, the battalion that I had, we had 165 people in it. And when we would have a large fire, we used to call them, we'd do critiques, but that had a negative attitude. So now it's an after action report. And when I would get up in front of the guys, there'd be maybe 80 or 90 that were that incident. And one of the things that I would say to them, it's applicable here, is I said, everybody in this room has an idea on how they would have handled that incident. But I said, the difference between your opinions and mine is I'm responsible for everybody in this room. So guess whose plan we're going to take? I take responsibility for it, and I take responsibility for the outcome. We don't see that in politics anymore. We see maybe some people literally behind the curtain pulling the strings, but whose face do they have on it? President Biden's. So we don't really know what's going on.
He's the scapegoat. I mean, because they already knew that he had dementia when he got, quote, elected. And yes, I am one of those people that does not believe that 81 million people voted for him. Not when you had 4 circles and you could barely fill the 4 circles.
So to me, it's a crack up. So I'm just saying, look at your family, folks, Republicans and Democrats. You'd vote for someone in your family who's 80 plus, right? Take a look at them. I couldn't vote for my mom. She's 83. She's got a clue. She's too left for me to vote for her. She's got spit and vinegar, but she's affected. She's got shoulder replacement.
Since you're bringing up age, I think it's really interesting that our government runs around telling us we're supposed to retire at 60, whatever it is.
And they work till 80.
And they work and stay in government until either they die, get pulled out of those chairs,
or shot.
Yeah, or shot. But the point is that I'm not going to make judgment one way or the other. I'm old enough. I could be retired. I don't want to be retired. I enjoy what I do, and I'm going to continue to do it until I'm incapable. And then I won't. But they don't know what that means. They know. I mean, look at who was it? It wasn't Barbara Boxer. It was, who was it? The other one.
Jackie Rosen?
No, it wasn't Jackie Rosen. It was the one who was 90 when she
finally passed California senator.
Yeah. And she, I mean, she was not even able to answer questions.
Yeah, they were trying to get her to vote on her deathbed.
You don't need to look any further than look at the First Lady right now. Why do you think she's advising her husband to stick it out?
Yeah.
She likes the perks.
Exactly.
The whole family does, best I could tell. The whole family said they got it.
But the thing is, as Americans, there's more of us than there are of them. And that only
I don't know if there's more Americans and more Bidens. Seems to be like if you're like watching the news and everything else, there's way more Bidens than us.
Well, and my suggestion is that we stand up peacefully and let them know that they're not going to do this anymore.
Well, there's a lot of talking heads out there that say that there's a revolution on the horizon.
I don't think revolution is the answer.
Well, I don't believe that one's on the horizon either. I think this system that we have, Ed had a perfect adjective for it. He says it's messy government.
Yeah.
And I agree with that.
But I think that there are ways, if we follow the law, that we could actually accomplish what we want to accomplish. But as long as you have lawless people in charge, it's going to be hard to do that. But there must be a way, and I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it right here, right now. The very first thing you need to do is to pray.
Is to what?
Pray.
Yeah, I believe that too.
Because we need some divine intervention.
Well, do you know what?
And there has been, in our history, there has been divine intervention, at least things that you can't explain. So whether you're a believer in a particular religion, or if you're a person who's, just sold on the Bible, or if you're somebody who's just a spiritual believer, whatever level you are, you can pray.
If current
Somebody asked Abe Lincoln that during the middle of the Civil War. They said, President Lincoln, what side is God on? And his answer, certainly a politician that he was, he says, that's not the question. The question is, are we on the side of God?
Mm-hmm. It's very
and
true.
So I think that that's exactly what you're saying. We have to pray.
So the left is not on the side of God. They've for sure ostracized it. Have you noticed they put all the LGBTQ days like the same month as Father's Day and Mother's Day?
Right.
I mean, they're right? They were the same day on Mother's Day. I mean, come on. How do you degrade? So the left degrades women, accepts women being degraded.
It's in the Bible.
It's also
they don't even respect people.
Yes.
They respect dogs more than people. I love dogs. But help me.
I do too. Everybody knows I do. Oh, so the Communist Manifesto, was it the Communist Manifesto that the 45 items that they said had to happen
for a revolution?
No.
For it to be a communist state. We've had a revolution without us knowing it. That's what I just did the last 12 years. 45
communist goals from 58 years ago. Okay. And this was read, I believe, on the founding of our nation's 245th birthday. It'd be nice, blah, blah, blah. It was in 1963. Congressman Albert Herlong Jr., a Democrat from Florida, said these goals were gleaned from the testimony given to Congress by scholars and from the writings of current and former communists. The Communism 45 goals were read into the congressional record by a Democrat, folks, not by a Republican, by a Democrat. And one of those, or many of those goals, are talking about exactly what's happening in our world today.
It's all those things. I mean, you can see it. All the things the Supreme Court ruled on are on there.
Yes. I thought they don't
right,
have
every
all
one of them.
They don't
take
have all of them
take one of the Democrats' talking points, which they push every year. Oh, on and on and on, and I'm so sick of it. Abortion. On the surface, abortion is someone not taking responsibility for their actions.
Well, here you go. Capture one or both of the political parties in the United States.
Check.
Get control of all the schools and teachers associations and soften the curriculum.
Check.
Gain control of all student newspapers.
Check.
Infiltrate the press. Gain control of key positions in radio, TV, and pictures. But see, as independent citizen journalists, we're out there.
Well, right. They got everybody but us.
Well, we're taking it back. Look at how many independents there are. That's what StreamYard and all these other types of services allow us to do when you push the button right. Gain control. Sorry. Eliminate all laws governing obscenity by calling them censorship and a violation of free speech and press. Break down cultural standards of morality by promoting pornography and obscenity in the media. Here we go. Present homosexuality, degeneracy, and promiscuity as normal, natural, and healthy. I mean,
you can't make this stuff up.
I'm only at number 8.
I know, and they're all
discredit the American Constitution by calling it inadequate and old-fashioned. I remember growing up hearing these people saying, "Oh, the Constitution is a living document," and I was like, that doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah, it
right?
doesn't.
It's not a constitution then, right?
Yeah,
You create a constitution to have some foundation and solidity. I mean, I always felt that the faith that I grew up in, whether I stayed with it or not, it gave me that foundation. It gave me the base for where I am today and how the rules go, right? I mean, everybody's got to have some rules to live by.
That's a perfect example of the Constitution.
Yeah.
Foundation.
Yeah, discredit and eventually dismantle the FBI. There you go.
Well, we should.
They've got you, don't they? They've got you. That's what they wanted to do.
My son's going in to resave it.
Yeah.
Good for him. I have a friend whose son just took a course at the FBI.
Awesome.
Yeah, she was very proud of him. Infiltrate and gain control of big business and unions. Transfer some of the powers of arrest from the police to what? Social agencies. Oh, what did we just hear?
It's all
during
happened. This is
2020,
like a formula, 1, 2,
I mean,
3.
Check. Every single one of these, they've done a good job.
Oh, discredit the family.
Yeah, discredit the family as an institution.
Yeah.
Encourage promiscuity and easy divorce. It's been going on all my life.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's more. They don't even have all 45 on here. They only have 18 of them, and they've all been done. They've all been done. Yeah. So it's, sorry, I didn't share that screen, but got carried away. I forget I can, right? I wanted to be able to do that, and then here I am.
I just don't know why, even now, right? If people saw that, they wouldn't be bothered. I don't think I mean, why don't they? Yeah. I mean, people. It goes back to our personal responsibility, right? And I don't know where we got to go. Maybe it's genealogy and legacy, right? I mean, if your kids don't have kids, your genes are gone, folks, from the gene pool, right? I mean, we can get into that whole abortion thing, but you're gone. You got no genealogy. There's nobody left.
Yeah. Speaking of kids and genealogy and all that kind of stuff, Doug, did you have a fire story you wanted to share? I remember you telling me about
Do you know what? I do. I jotted them down this morning, and
because we only have about 10 minutes left.
I have three short stories, and it all falls under the category, basically, of how dangerous firefighting is, not just in LA County where I was brought up and where I work, across the country. And one of them is, and the reason this came to the forefront was we had 19 years ago, they're celebrating, I guess that's a bad word for it. They're making it, they're known about the Granite Mountain hotshots that 19 of these kids died 19 years ago on a wildland fire. And one of them, because we in LA County were never far from this, one of the young men that died there was the son of one of our firefighters in LA County. That's how close it was. And the Granite Mountain hotshots didn't need to die. It was just one of those fluke things, but that's what kills our firefighters is the fluke things, because we can practice and practice. They did everything all right, and they got trapped. Another one was, and this is just within the last
Hold on. I have to make comment, right? They didn't do everything right if they died.
You're absolutely right. One of the things.
I mean, right? I mean, if they think they did it right, that's part of our government problem. They think they do things right and people die.
And you hit the nail right on the head. One of the things that you do when you have, first of all, let's describe what a hotshot crew is. They're the guys that go out. They don't have water. What they have is they have shovels, axes, saws, and they clear make a fire break around the fire. Well, when they do that, they post a lookout to say, hey, I'm going to keep it, and they're in radio contact. Well, unfortunately, what happened is there was a wind change, but we'll get to that in a second. Each one of these guys has a fire shelter on their belt. And one of the things that they can do is they crack open this fire shelter and they get in it. They hold the sides down and let the fire actually burn over them.
It's like a non-burning garbage
bag. That's what they used to call it, shake and bake.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. That's their garbage bags.
Wow.
They're silver garbage bags. I've actually seen
sense of humor.
Well, up until that time, they said no one had ever died in one. Well, unfortunately, they learned the hard way. One of the things that these kids do, and one of the things that they teach, where is a safety area? It's what they call in the black. The black is the area that's already burnt. So you can get in there, it's already burnt. There's nothing that, it's certainly not going to be very, pleasant, but that they left the black to try to get back to the area of origin. The winds changed and they started blowing 3 times what they were. The only survivor was the lookout that they posted. So no, they didn't. If they would have stayed in the black, they would have been okay. And that was what the after action report showed. Why they chose to leave the black to try to get to their area of origin, nobody knows, because that died with them. But another one, just here recently, we lost a firefighter within the last 2 weeks. He was killed at a very, very simple fire, if there is such thing as a simple fire. There was a front end loader, and everybody sees them. These are the tractors. This was a rubber tired, very large tractor that has a bucket on the front. It was in a gravel yard. Now, what's there to burn in a gravel yard, right?
Doesn't seem like there'd be anything.
Absolutely nothing except
the tires on the
loader.
stuff. Yeah.
And so this loader caught on fire. Fire department goes out there. These guys start attacking it.
Why?
I have looked every day to find out exactly what happened. For some unknown reason, this loader blew up and killed the firefighter instantly that was fighting that fire.
Wow.
So one of the suggestions is that if anybody knows the thing about tires on a big ring like that, they're attached by what's called a split ring. And they think when the tire blew up, it fired that spring ring out and actually killed him. Now that's
so. What are they doing trying to put it out when it's out there? To me, it's like electric cars, right? I mean, we're not in Teresa's garage here, but they can't put those batteries out either, and they're just letting them burn. To me, that was a situation where it's not going to catch fire. You just let the sucker burn.
And that single issue right there is the hardest thing that I had to teach within the fire department. Some things don't deserve to be put out.
Well, and until I knew you, I didn't understand that. I really didn't. I didn't get it. I mean, I would have said,
but everybody, since you're since you're a small type, fire, put it out.
Right,
fire. Okay, let me give you another perfect example. And I was on. I think I've discussed this maybe a couple of years ago. We went to a fire, and it's a roof fire, right? The house is the roof is probably maybe a third of the roof is burning, and here these kids are coming out with their fire engine and they're squirting water on the fire. And I told them, don't do that. Get in there, get salvage covers. I want everything in that house covered, because that water that they're putting on there, what does it do? It goes up,
just washes, doing and ruins everything.
Absolutely. And
I've had that happen.
Does the homeowner really care if a third or a half or 3/4 of his roof burns off? The reality of it is, when they go out there, they're going to replace the whole thing anyway.
Right.
Well, unfortunately, what happened is I yelled at this kid, put that hose down and let it burn. The homeowner was standing behind me. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
As luck may have it, the next day I went out there because I wanted to see if I could talk to the homeowner. He was there, and I asked him, I said, did you hear me say that? And he said, no, I didn't. But he says, I have something to offer to you. And I said, what's that? And he said, the surge adjuster was here, and he said he has never seen a fire like this where everything inside was covered with tarps. And he says, we didn't lose anything inside the house.
That's awesome.
It does work. It is. But you try to teach that. I guarantee you, I've been gone. Kids still go out and squirt water on it and let all that water go on the people's.
Well, that's why they become firemen.
Hey guys,
exactly.
I hate to tell you, but we gotta wrap this little puppy
No
down.
way. Hold it. You know what Fox Motor says? The line's getting squeaky. I can't hear you. You're breaking up, Jim. We're going to talk forever.
Yeah. But, you know.
Well, the next time I hear a ding or whatever, I'm going to know that you guys got cut off, because that's what was happening. I kept hearing those dings, and that's what it was. New in engineering. What can I say? We're going to teach him.
With firefighting, there's the dangers that you know and the dangers you don't know. And even if you think you're completely removed from it, here, this poor firefighter on our job lost his son out there on a fire. And I can't think of anything more tragic than that. One
Me
of the
neither.
things that I will say, I worked for Los Angeles County
You know,
Fire
if we had
Department
music, I'd be playing it right now.
for
I'd
30
be playing it.
Susie.
We gotta go.
Susie.
Susie. Do-do-do-do.
for
We gotta go. We gotta go.
35 years.
Yep.
We lost a firefighter a year for 35 years.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
All right. Well, I hate to end on that note, but I have to.
I was going to make a half
I know,
comment, and
I know.
I thought better of it.
Yeah. So on that note, folks, we do have to go. We hope you'll join us here every week on What's the Story, LeRue Press Network, Rumble, YouTube, Facebook.
Get
all
your
over.
backbone back.
That's right. And we'll have more music next time around next week when we do our show. Thank you guys. Thanks for making the change with me. And hopefully you'll enjoy our new studio. It'll change as we go.
Love
Okay.
it.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Have a
Bye
great
now.
week.